as soon as like I see the light, I'm like frozen, and then the light like goes down and I see a police officer standing outside. Hello. All right. Okay. My bed says Texas. Let me tell you guys de una vez that I'm not from Texas. Okay, let me just make that clear. It's just really cute, and it has like horses. Well, you can't really see, but like I tried showing you guys, but it's like has little cowboys and stuff. And I just think it's really cute, so I put it on my bed. But I'm not from Texas. Okay, let me just clarify that right now. Que rollo pollos? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so happy to be back. You guys don't even understand. Let me tell you guys why I've been gone. So school was kind of starting to kick my butt, and I was like, shoot, I kind of need to get it together. So I took a break and I was focusing on finals. I had to bring my bad grade up to a good grade. I did it. Well, I mean, I brought my bad grade up to like a better grade. So I passed, but like after school ended, we went to Mexico. So I was gonna do a Mexico vlog. I just didn't. So maybe later on I'll just do like a little mini compilation of little clips I got from there. And then after I came back from Mexico, I had to leave again out of town for a summer camp. But now I am back and I'm ready to get back on my game. That's why I haven't been around. Also, before I start this video, you guys can skip to whatever time this is to start the actual story time. I'm gonna just talk a little before we get into it. I just want to tell you guys about something exciting that happened the other day. I freaking cried the other day. Let me move my camera a little bit. So the other day, it's not even a big deal. I just want to share it because it was a big deal for me, okay? I went to my cousin's house for her birthday party. She turned 7, so it was her 7th birthday party. She runs up to me and she's with her friend, and her friend is like running behind her. And I see her friend like look at her and she goes, "Is that Emily?" And my cousin goes, "Yeah." And she turns back to me and she goes, "I'm a subscriber." And she gives me the biggest hug. And I started crying. I literally started bawling. Like, I'll insert the clip of me crying here. That was the cutest thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Why are you crying? So I was crying. It was just so exciting because, like, you know, just having someone, I don't know, it was cute, and it was, I cried. It was just one of the happiest moments in my life. It was cute. It was cute. Anyways, let's get into my story time. Again, just like my previous story time about this, I'm not sitting down and talking about this being like dead serious and being 100% like scared that my house is haunted. Like, no, I'm pretty comfortable in my house. Like, I love my house. I have lived here all 17 years of my life. But when I say that this stuff has happened, 110%, it has happened 110%. None of this is fake. This story time specifically, I will not over exaggerate anything because it's just so intense that like I don't need to. I know like some of you aren't gonna believe any of what I'm saying, but I'm not playing with you guys. You can ask my parents, you can ask my sister, you can ask my grandma. They were all present during this moment, so like ask them. I'm not lying. Like I just feel like because the story is so crazy, most people just like won't believe me, but like do what you want with this story time. I think it's a good one. Get ready because it's crazy. Okay, I don't even know where to start. I was asleep, right? So I'm still like figuring out how I'm gonna tell the story. I was sleeping. I already said that. And the phone box thing is in my room. Like, watch, let me try to get it to show you guys. This...
To delete all old messages, press delete again.
No. So this thing. Ignore this. I broke it. Okay. This is in my room, okay? So when the phone rings, I can hear it because of the speaker. So I was sleeping and the phone started ringing. So the phone, the actual phone, the home phone, wasn't in here. It was just this box in my room. It was around... Sorry for any background noise. I have my window open. But anyways, it was around 3 in the morning. And like, if you've seen my previous, My House is Haunted Storytime, all of like my creepy, scary stuff like was happening at 3 in the morning. I just like to include that detail because it makes the story more spooky. But the phone started ringing. Boxes in my room. So usually when people call, let me actually go get my mom's phone so I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about so my story makes more sense. I just want to show you guys like what you normally hear when someone's calling, right? So it rings and then it rings again.
Call from Anna.
So it says call from and then it says the person that's calling. It rings and then it says call from whoever's calling. That's what I was trying to listen for the night the phone rang. I didn't feel like getting up to answer the phone, so I just decided to lay there and listen to who was calling to see if I really needed to answer or not. If we get calls that late at night, which we never do, we'll almost always answer them because they're usually emergency calls. Like, no, like not even like a scammer's gonna call you at that time. I was laying in my bed, I was like, maybe I'll answer the phone, maybe I won't, depends who's calling. And if there's no caller ID, then it'll just keep ringing and keep ringing and keep ringing, and it won't say call from blank. It'll just keep ringing. So that's what it did. And I was like, weird. Again, I couldn't just like get up and answer because the phone wasn't like in its little slot. It was just like the box. I just kind of laid there for a few seconds and I was like, what the heck? And then it rang again. This time it did have a caller ID and I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember it was like Jeff something. I don't remember what was at the beginning, but at the end it said 911. I started freaking out. I didn't know what to do. So as soon as I heard the 911, I got up, I started looking for the phone. I ran into the kitchen and I found one of the phones. There's 3 in the set. I found one of the phones on the table, like next to some candy jars we have out there. I pick it up to answer. It was too late. They had already hung up, or like the call had already, like whatever, it had rang too many times, so I wasn't able to answer. But I just kind of stood there, like so many things were going through my head. My brother doesn't live with us anymore, so the first thought that like, can you Tali, seriously get out? Continue. Get out. So my brother doesn't live with us anymore, so the first thought that like crossed my mind was like, maybe something happened to him. Like, I don't know, I'm freaking out. My brother's a wild soul, so like it was a possibility that something could have happened to him. I didn't know if I should call back or what, so I like walk over to my like outside my mom's room and she's already up and she's like, hey, who was calling? And I was like, and I just show her the caller ID. I just show her the caller ID. And she picks and she grabs it and she's like, is this from a jail? And I was like, I don't know. And then again, I thought about my brother and I was like, maybe they're giving him like his one call and that's why they haven't called back or something. I didn't even know what to think. I like slowly start coming back into my room, just like kind of like so shook about the situation. Again, like even at this point, it's not that deep. I just overthink things. So I didn't know what was going on. I'm coming back into my room, turn on the light in my room. I'm like staring at myself in the mirror, like what is going on? The This is where things start getting crazy. And where, again, I have to assure you guys that all of this is so real. I'm in my room and I hear a pounding on the door. Again, keep in mind, it's like 3 a.m. and there's a pounding on the door. My mom right away goes, "Emily!" And I'm like, she goes, "Go see who it is." She's like, "Something's going on." You guys are probably like, why would your mom make you open the door at like 3 a.m? Because it's a pounding, because we just got a call from something 911. And my mom doesn't speak English, so normally if people are at the door, I'll answer it. Like if it's not family, I'll answer it. So I'm walking into the living room, and we have 3 sections of windows. So we have one window, one window, one window. We had 2 of the windows with the blinds closed, and then one of them with the blinds open. There's like light flashing into the one that's open, and my heart's like pounding, like I don't know what's going on. I'm like kind of half asleep. And as soon as like I see the light, I'm like frozen, and then the light like goes down and I see a police officer standing outside. So I'm like, I like run to the door, I open it, and again I'm thinking my brother, what's going on with my brother? I open the door, the officer introduces himself, and then he goes, "I'm just responding to a 911 call." Okay, just a quick pause. So as I'm editing this video, I thought back to my previous My House is Haunted Storytime video, and I thought back to this clip, and I thought you guys should see it. So here it is. I went through this time where I had constant dreams of me calling 911. And then he goes, "I'm just responding to a 911 call." Huh? I'm like, I don't think anyone has called 911. We just like got a call, like some kind of call, and he said like it was the dispatcher calling us back to see if everything was okay. Because, and then this is like where I was like, what? He said it was, we had called and then hung up. I was really confused. I didn't even know what to tell him. He goes, "Can I come in?" And I was kind of like, I don't know. And he goes, "Or you could just like have one of your parents come to the door. I was like, okay, sounds good. So I go get my dad. My dad's like also very shook about the whole situation. He goes out into the living room and then opens the door or whatever, starts talking to the officer. The officer says the exact same thing he told me to him. He was like, "Well, we just like received a 911 call. We just wanted to swing by and make sure everything was okay because, you know, we didn't have any talking through the 911 call. You called and then hung up." And my dad was like, "Well, everyone here is fine. Like, we're okay. No one's called 911. It's a weird situation." And the officer's like, "Okay, well, I'm glad to see everyone's okay. Sorry to like wake you guys up or whatever." The officer leaves. My dad is also very shook, and everyone in the house is just kind of like, what the heck just happened? So I like revisiting the story it's still so unreal to me. We actually didn't check on my sister during this time. Like, she could have been the one calling 911 and we didn't even check on her. But I run in like after the officer leaves, and I like walk into her room. I'm like, "Hey, you good?" And she's kind of like already like sitting up on her bed, like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Are you okay?" She goes, "Yeah, why?" And I was like, "No, just like nothing. It's okay. Go back to sleep." So she's like, "Okay." My sister slept through this whole thing, but she's okay. We all just kind of go back to bed, like so shook, so unaware of what had just happened, like crazy moment just happened. We all go back to bed. So I get up. So like a few hours later, I get up to help my mom. And I'm like talking to my mom about what had happened, and she's still not able to process what happened. I'm still not able to process what had happened. And again, this is like kind of where I start, like I get the chills thinking about this. The officer had said, we called and then hung up, and I'm like, shoot, like maybe I just didn't clean everything off my bed last night. Maybe one of the phones, because there's 3, maybe one of them was like tangled up in my blankets and like I had accidentally called or something, pressed an emergency button, something. I forgot to mention this. When the officer was at the house, he gave us the phone that had called. So it wasn't just like our location where the call was received. It was specifically the home phone. He gave us the number of the home phone. So I get up in the morning to help my mom, and I'm like, hey mom, where's the other phone? Because I found one of them when I had gotten up in the middle of the night to try to answer the call. I had found one near the candy jars. And I asked her, I'm like, hey, where's the other phone? And she was like, she just points like in the living room next to one of the couches. And she's like, the other one's over here. And she picks it up and she's like, and it's dead. So there's no way anyone called from this one. And I was like, and there's no way anyone called from this other one because it was in the kitchen. The third one, we haven't had for about maybe like 3 years now, because we lost it 3 years ago and we haven't seen it in 3 years. It's been lost. It could be somewhere in this house, but it's probably dead anyways because it hasn't been charged in 3 years. There's no way anyone could have called the one in the kitchen. There's no way anyone could have called the one in the living room because that one was dead. So still to this day, no one knows who called and hung up. And we've just been making this joke about it being a ghost. About it being a Layuoki. I told my brother the situation, and my brother's usually the logical one where he's like, can come up with this could have happened, this could have happened. He doesn't know what could have happened. No one knows what happened. None of us in my house sleepwalk. I wish I had an explanation for this video, but I don't. Someone or something in the house could have called 911 and then hung up, had an officer come to our house. Yeah, and it was just so unusual, and even like still to this day there's no explanation, and we just kind of let it go. We were like, well, it's life. I hope this story made sense. If it didn't, feel free to comment down below any questions you have. I'll do my best to answer them. Also, feel free to comment down any explanations you feel like this is what could have happened. I would love to read them, love to kind of get an explanation to the situation. I hope that I won't do another part to My House is Haunted because I don't want my house to be haunted, so yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for sitting down and listening to me ramble about my house possibly being haunted, and this crazy story time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Ghost, if you're listening to me right now, I don't mean to make a joke about the situation or anything, but like, I'm sorry.